Have you ever feel like you're tired, but not just sleepy tired? I mean, tired like bone deep, like your soul is limping, like if your thoughts had knees, they'd be clicking when they stood up. Yeah, that kind of tired. The kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix. The kind of tired that follows you into your dreams like, hey, bestie, just checking in with some unresolved trauma, and then casually ruins REM cycle like it pays rent there. You wake up just as drained as when you went to bed, and then you go through the day pretending you're functioning when really you're just a well dressed ghost with Wi Fi. And the worst part, you feel guilty for even needing rest. Like resting is weak, like you're wasting time. Like everybody else is out there hustling and building empires and eating acai bowls, while you're just horizontal, breathing, recharging, existing. But guess what? You need rest, not because you're lazy, not because you're falling behind, but because you're a damn human being with limits. And pretending you don't have limits, that's the real weakness. That's the lie. And I get it, the world doesn't exactly send you emails titled, Time to Chill King. It tells you to grind, hustle, never stop, sleep when you're dead, all that motivational garbage written by people who probably cry in bathtubs full of money and still feel empty. The truth is, rest isn't what you do after you've burned out. Rest is what stops you from burning in the first place. It's not the backup plan, it's the plan. It's not a reward, it's maintenance, like brushing your teeth, but for your spirit. And yo, I know some of you are going to be like, but Sam, I can't afford to rest. Cool, but you can afford to crash? You can afford to be miserable in high definition? You think burnout gives discounts? It doesn't. Burnout will take everything from you: your joy, your creativity, your love for things that used to light you up. Suddenly, you're snapping at people you love, avoiding the things that matter, numbing out with whatever's easiest, and then wondering why nothing feels good anymore. Because you're not broken. You're just exhausted. And you've been convincing yourself that being tired is a moral failure instead of a biological signal. You've been out here treating your body like a rental car when it's actually the only home you've got. And I know what some of you are doing right now. You're looking at your life like it's a list of deadlines and expectations and people you can't disappoint. And rest doesn't even make the list. You tell yourself, I'll slow down after this project, or I'll breathe after this deadline, or I'll take care of myself when I finally have time. But listen, that later you keep chasing, that perfect window when everything's done and no one needs you, doesn't exist. It's a mirage. There will always be another thing, another email, another emergency, another person to save. You are not the emergency hotline for other people's chaos. You are not an unlimited resource. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to log off. You are allowed to disappear for a bit and come back when you've found your center again. You don't need to earn peace. You just need to claim it. And yeah, I know resting feels weird when you're wired for survival, when your nervous system's been running on fight or flight since puberty, when sitting still makes you feel like you're failing. But guess what? Survival is not the goal anymore. We're done with that. The goal now is presence, joy, wholeness, healing, and none of that happens when you're running on fumes and faking fine. And let's be real, sometimes rest doesn't look like candles and meditation playlists. Sometimes rest is eating a real meal before 3 p.m. Sometimes rest is turning your phone off and going outside even if your inner introvert is screaming. Sometimes rest is crying for 2 hours in bed and calling it therapy. Sometimes rest is laughter, or music, or not doing the dishes for once because guess what? Your worth is not tied to how clean your kitchen is. Sometimes rest is not talking to anyone for 3 days, or finally talking to someone after avoiding everything for 3 months. Sometimes rest is chaos before it's calm. Sometimes you have to fall apart a little just to realize you deserve to put yourself back together slow, software intentionally. And don't get me started on people who think rest means laziness. You ever see a phone that's been on 2% battery all day? It's barely functioning. It's glitching. It's overheating. That's you, bro. That's you trying to live your whole life on 2% and calling it ambition. Meanwhile, your body's sending you pop-up notifications like, hey, might die soon, lol. But you're ignoring it because productivity culture told you your value is in your output. It's not. Your value is in your being, not your doing. You're not a machine. You're a miracle. Act like it. And I'm not saying quit your job and go live in the forest with goats, unless that's your dream, in which case I fully support goat era. But what I am saying is stop treating rest like it's negotiable, like it's optional. It's not. You need it, like you need air, like you need water, like you need that one weird video that makes you cry laugh at 2 a.m. and reminds you you're still alive in there somewhere. And yeah, maybe this isn't the first time you've heard this, but maybe it's the first time it actually hit. Maybe you're finally tired enough to listen, to let yourself stop, to admit that you've been holding it together with caffeine and vibes and it's just not working anymore. Good. That's where it starts. With truth, with surrender, with you saying, I can't do this like this anymore, and not shaming yourself for needing a break. Because listen, the break is sacred. It's where the clarity happens, the healing, the return. Rest is where you remember who you are without the noise. And you know what's wild? When you rest, the world doesn't fall apart. But sometimes you fall back together. And yeah, some people won't get it. They'll think you're being dramatic, lazy, irresponsible. Let them run their race. You're not in it. You're on your own path, your own pace, your own damn journey. And your story doesn't need to look like theirs. Your rest might look boring to someone else. But if it's saving your life, then baby, that's sacred. That's brave. That's the real work. You've been strong for so long. You've carried so much. And I know it feels like if you stop, everything will collapse. But what if that collapse is actually the beginning of peace? What if falling apart is how we rebuild softer, smarter, safer? You don't have to prove anything to be worthy of rest. You don't have to achieve burnout to deserve a break. You don't have to keep performing survival just because that's what you were taught. You are allowed to be soft, to be slow, to be silent for a while. And if no one ever told you that before, then let me be the first. I love you too much to let you keep pretending you're fine. You're not fine. You're tired. And it's okay. I'm not here to fix you. I'm just here to remind you that you were never broken. You were just tired. And maybe, just maybe, the version of you that's been trying so hard to keep it all together isn't the real you. Maybe the real you is buried under all that pressure, waiting, watching, whispering, telling you it's safe now. It's okay now. You can rest. You can heal. You can stop pretending. You can be. So, yeah, maybe this video found you at the perfect time. Maybe you were scrolling, searching, spiraling, and something in your gut said, watch this. Maybe that wasn't an accident. Maybe this is your sign. Maybe you needed someone to say the thing out loud that you've been too scared to admit. You're tired. But you don't have to keep running. You can stop now. Not forever. Just long enough to find your breath. Just long enough to find yourself. And when you're ready, and not a rush, not forced, but ready, come back to the world softer, stronger. You, still you. Just finally rested. Finally.